Welcome CSC 121 to EX14 radial symmetry. I have no code here. I'm going to try to figure this out as I go, and the idea is to create radial symmetry of a bunch of triangles, at least to start, and then kind of see how much we can make changes after that and randomize colors and randomize shapes and things like that. But we'll start with that. We'll get that working because that'll be a little bit more of a challenge because there's definitely a couple steps we're going to have to do here to make it happen. And my idea is to kind of have a turtle that starts in the center and then moves up a certain distance, draws a triangle, comes back, and then turns and does it again. And that sounds simple enough, but you'll see it won't be that simple. This will be a little more challenging than some of the other things that we've done. So what we'll do is maybe start off by making a function that just draws a triangle. And then once we have that, then we can talk about moving around and kind of troubleshooting as far as that goes. So that's what I'll do. I'll go down here and make a function to draw a triangle. Now obviously there's some other things I need here, but I'll start off with this and I'll put t in here, and you might say, well, where's t? We don't even have a turtle yet. And let's instantiate a turtle. We'll call him Tim, turtle.turtle. Remember, that's the module and the turtle class, so it's going to be Tim again. You don't have to use Tim. And we could even give Tim a color and make them red, because I had the sample of the red triangle, so I'll start with that. You can always change that later. And what we're going to do to draw the triangle, now remember, turtles kind of face that direction to start, so they move over that way and draw a triangle that way. So, and we have to remember that they go that way first. If we make them move there, we're going to have to make them turn to actually do that. So let's just worry about drawing the triangle right now. And to do that, just going to move forward. So we'll do t dot forward, and we'll make a small triangle to start. We'll make it like 20 to start. And after he moves forward, then he's going to turn. We'll do t dot left, and we'll do it 120 right now because we're doing polygons that have equal number of sides. So if it's 3 sides by 20, we'll do 360 divided by 3 sides, which is 120. So 120s would be the degrees for the angle that we're using. And then this would actually happen 3 times. So we could do a little for loop in here, and that's inside the function, so we'll have to tab that over. So we have a for loop already inside here. Now we're not using any variables yet. We're not randomizing anything. We're just using absolute numbers. Also, to make this, we have a color here, but we didn't do a begin fill or an end fill. So let's do a t dot begin fill, and then finish it off with a t.end fill and move it back to the indented part of the function but outside of the for loop, and make sure this says end. If we want to run it, we're going to have to call it, so let's just call it, move it down here, and draw a triangle. Oh, we got to call him with Tim. Probably got an error about that, and it says t is not defined because we're putting t in there. It's going to be looking for a Tim as a turtle, so we'll make sure we have to put Tim in there. Now let's draw it, and there's our triangle. And then at the end, I'm actually not going to hide turtle at the end because I'd like to see what direction he's in. That's going to be helpful for when he goes back down again and starts over. So we want to make sure we kind of know what direction he's facing. So he's still facing this way when he draws that. So that's helpful to know of where he goes when he draws that turtle. So the next part of this, after we have this, is going to be having him move in a certain direction and then go draw it. So we'll focus on the moving right now. And I'll just call it move draw. And I'll just put t in here again. Now what he's going to do, remember it starts facing this way. We're going to have him turn immediately. So we're going to do t dot left. And we'll make him go 90 degrees to the left so we can go up, and then he'll go forward, then maybe go like 130 or something like that, and see how that goes. Turn left and go forward, then he's going to draw it. And what I'm going to do here is I'll put this in here, and then I'll comment this out, and I'll put this here instead. And we could just leave this here. That way, if we ever need this, we could do it again. So here's move draw. And let's just see what happens here. And nothing's happening. Oh, because I don't have Tim here as well. That's one of the things. Let's see. Okay. And what happens here, because of the angle he's at, because we turn now 90 degrees, he's kind of drawing the triangle sideways. It's actually what's happened. It's actually drawing the... So we need to turn him around again before he draws the triangle. So left, and we could do a negative 90 to make him go back the other way. And we could even make him go... We could try some... Let's try this. I'll say forward. We'll pretend we don't have a backward function, even though we do. But we'll say forward, and we'll just say negative, whatever, negative 130 divided by 2. We'll do that. Now, that may be a problem because that's an even number, so that should divide okay. Let's just see what happens. Oh, not negative 130. It should be negative 20. Half of the side, not the whole length. That's actually kind of what we want, because now it's kind of in the middle, the sides, and that could be something that we control with a variable. So that's the first part of this. Now we want to have them go back. So after this, when we could try to keep it in here, we'll try to make this whole move part be part of this. So after he does that, and we can see what happens, he could go forward 20 divided by 2. So he's in the middle again. And then he could turn again, and looks like it would be left 90 degrees, so that would make him facing up. And we'll do t dot forward. Again, we're just using negative numbers instead of even using it backwards. And he'll go forward negative 130. Let's see what happens. And actually, that's what we want. Now, we have the pen thing there that we have to deal with, so that's a good start. I think this is a good start. We're going to have another function that's actually going to make him turn and basically do this function. Now, we have a little issue here because when we started this one, we turned him 90 degrees, and now he's actually facing the right direction. So what's the problem we're going to run into is if we start another function and have him turn 30 degrees, he's already turning 90 degrees when we're here. So we're going to have to deal with that somehow. But we'll deal with that in the next video. So let's take a break here, and we'll end part 1 here with kind of creating a straight line here, and then we'll troubleshoot on how to deal with changing that angle there. Not here. It's easy to change the angle here, but we're going to have to go back and correct the angle over here so he's facing the right way, and we'll do that in part 2.